Oh hey, it's time for Power Morphicon Day 3 and Day 40 of 100 Days of Making Comics. Come on!
I was very well.
Sitting out front of the hotel, actually, this is a decent hotel, but this makes it look a lot more glamorous than it is. We had the breakfast with the Rangers thing, which was an extra cost, but it was actually pretty good, and in some ways was better than the VIP meet and greet thing because it was structured. And we sat with Jack Guzman from Wild Force, and he was super nice and super fun and took pictures with everybody. We ate, and we just had like an hour to an hour and a half of just hanging out, and it was way more chill, and it was a good way to start the day. Here's the picture of us from the VIP breakfast, gold breakfast, I forget what it was called, but basically if you were a gold or platinum member, you could pay extra to have breakfast on Sunday, and the idea being that there would be stars and creators from the shows, and it was, you didn't know who you were going to get at your table or how many people. I'd heard in past years that they would sometimes rotate around, kind of like speed dating, but this year you basically just, whoever was there stayed the whole time. We had Jack Guzman in the middle in the blue shirt, the bald guy who was from Wild Force. He was the Black Ranger. We got there late, sort of. There was confusion about if it started at 8 or 8:30. The short version is we got there at 8:30. People had started getting there at 8. We didn't miss our chance. We didn't miss our food, but there was very few seats left, so we had to take what we could get. Alex ended up having to sit at a different table, and he sat with the Quantum Ranger from Time Force and I'm forgetting her name, but the female mentor from Wild Force. And Q and I were lucky to be at the same table, but we actually didn't sit together. This was at the very end. We all just sort of scooted together. Where she's sitting is where Jack was sitting originally, so I ended up sitting right next to him, not on purpose, but that was the open seat, so I had like the best seat in the house. And yeah, so it was pretty good. He was a real nice guy. It was really fun. And then sitting behind us was Selwyn Ward, and I didn't bother him because I'd already got enough of my Selwyn goodness for the trip. And there was a lot of other ones. Yuta, who played Geki from Zoo Rangers, was at another table. I saw Johnny Young Bosch online for the waffle thing, and I was wearing the shirt I had bought from the night before, so I got a little, hey, nice shirt, do, Johnny Young Bosch. But yeah, I think everybody that went to this enjoyed it. You certainly didn't get your money's worth for the food. I was bummed because as a vegetarian, I just got a plate, and it had sausage and other things on it that were kind of contaminating the potatoes. I was able to eat some of the eggs in the middle, and then I partook of the waffle bar, but I wish we had not, it wasn't all piled together like that because it kind of ruined a lot of the food for me. But overall, it was worthwhile. From there, we went back to the show floor, and you could see a Kaku Ranger / Alien Ranger in the background there. I kept trying to get pictures of awesome cosplayers and failing. This is when I sort of succeeded. They had RPM, Janaya 7, and Dylan, and the dog was dressed as Rose. They had a Dr. K, but she left before I came up. I was taking a picture here because it was Yuta, the Red Ranger, meeting Steve Cardenas, who was the second Mighty Morphin Red Ranger after Austin St. John, so they wore the same suit. I thought it was fun to catch that meeting. This is my buddy Alex. After all the fun we had, he decided to get a picture signed by Yuta. He has maybe seen one episode as Zoo Ranger. I think he's more of a fan now, and here you can see him being corrected, but he said, no, you hold it down like this. I guess the Power Rangers hold him higher than the Zoo Rangers. And then Q and I went and got, forgetting his name and his head's blocking it, but he played Goshi, the Black Ranger, and then we got a picture. And Alex took a bunch of pictures, which was cool of him because we got to pick. And then I got to meet RJ, who was, RJ is his name, David is his name, who played RJ, the Wolf Ranger, and so did Alex on Jungle Fury. And he, like Antonio, the Gold Ranger, is one of my all-time favorites. So that was really cool, and he was really fun. And I had my Wolf Morpher on, as you can see from the planning pictures. Then Q and I went and said, you know what? Let's get autographs from the two people we didn't and get a whole team shot. And Yuta, once again, helping Q. No, hold it down. The bummer of this was I had with me two Kyoryu Sentai Zoo Ranger morphers that we could have both held them, but I didn't bring them because I had it signed the other day and we took our pictures the other day. This was kind of a last minute choice thing. I borrowed I borrowed Alex's, gave it to Q, so she had one and I kind of pantomimed, but we could have done it more perfect. And I just had 100 different faces in these pictures while everyone else remained the same, which is kind of funny to me. The next thing we did was went to the Sixth Ranger panel, which had all the Sixth Rangers that were there, meaning the Rangers that come in later. And online, that guy with the beard behind the guy with the hat is Christopher Kamen Lee, who played the Red In Space Ranger, and he was waiting online to ask a troll question of In Space Silver, who he had worked with, which I thought was pretty funny.
Who's the MVP?
Good final question. It's 6 years from Oklahoma, that's going to be. Ranger panel, we headed over
to catch the RPM Jungle Fury panel, and we caught the end of the suits and stunts panel, and that's Yoshi from Dino Charge, who plays Coda in Dino Charge, that was moderating because he's a stuntman and was before and after being an actor, face actor, I should say. And so that was kind of cool to just kind of catch the tail into that.
On the spot. I'm Ikadabo. Hi guys. Got True Ranger Red and I'm ready.
Ready!
Ready!
My favorite part was watching Ari do his morph.
Where's my bag?
Ready! RPM! Get gear!
Had a Super Sentai panel, which was very similar to the Zoo Ranger panel. It had a lot more Die Ranger stuff, but they did more posing and stuff. It had some jokes, and it was different enough that it was worth going to again, especially since these people were all from Japan, and who knows if we'll ever see them again. But then at the end, they had this cool moment where all the cosplayers came up.
Me and Ossie.
Ranger pose.
And again, this is something that was awesome that happened in the Japanese panels much more, where there were these specific photo ops and specific video ops, and they would hold it, and there was a woman coordinating where she'd be like, okay, 5 seconds, now look left, now look right, etc. And not that it's necessary, but it's kind of what everyone wants, and it stops people from taking random pictures in the middle of a panel and things like that. And I don't know, it's just fun, and it just seems professional, you know? And I like professional. Last panel of the show was Bulk and Skull Tear Down the Con, and it was pretty fun. It was sort of like goofy improv the whole time.
Okay. Yep.
What is happening?
You had to go on the skull. Your cakes. Give us
Hey, children, we're going to bring down the con without getting sued again.
I think the best thing we should do at this point is to get questions from people that seem to be hurting,
Right.
and we will give them answers to their problems.
Right. Because where I was going to move it was going back from Miranoi back to the Earth.
Jason, are you okay? There's something in your wallet.
It's money, I'm taking it.
After that panel, there was only about an hour left for the showroom floor, so I took a look at some of the toys. Most of the really good stuff or the really cheap stuff had been taken. And unfortunately, I feel like a lot of stuff was overpriced at this show. But here's us heading out, and there was quite a few celebrities we saw on the way out. Like, if you look to the left there, that's the actor that played Kevin, Blue Samurai, talking to the woman who was the suit actor for Elgar. The actor that played Jaden, Alex, Jaden, the Red Ranger from Samurai, and we saw Megaforce Black, and we saw the gentleman who played Ivan Ooze. Yeah, just it was like a parade of Rangers walking by, chatting with each other. We ended up being there for a while, and then some of the Rangers were waiting to get paid or get their parking validation, so they were just goofing around and doing little skits for each other. So we're just kind of like, let's just watch the free show while we were also waiting for our stuff. I'm blanking on his name, but the gentleman that plays Kevin, the Blue Samurai Ranger, came over and stood next to me waiting for whatever. And he was asking for about the T-shirts and stuff, and I was like, oh, well, they're this and that. Some of them you get for free, some you got to pay. And he's like, how do I get one? I'm like, well, somebody came over, and I'm like, hey, he's an actor, doesn't he get one for free? And they're like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, that's where you got to do it. He's like, yeah. And Alex is like, we can say it for you so you don't look like a jerk. He's like, all right. I'm like, she's in charge. Go talk to her. And he's like, okay. So he was a nice guy. I also told him, hey, man, I like your season. Because, again, Samurai doesn't get a lot of love. And he was like, thanks. I really appreciate that. I feel like we kind of brought it back. I'm like, yeah. So I had a nice little interaction with him. Thought about asking for a picture, but I was like, I could just keep it nice and not make it weird. But, yeah, so that was kind of a weird little, like I said, another – it was almost as good as the VIP meet and greet in that there were a lot of actors and creators around that you sort of kind of could talk to, but you didn't want to be too weird about it. But yeah, so after that, we met up with some friends in the area and went back to that burger place we went to the other day, like Island Burger or something, which is delicious, and quickly ate, which you'll see. And then we headed home at like 7, 8 o'clock.
And then no pickles on that. Shut up. No pickles or onions on that.
Time to go. Power Morphicon's over. We're powering down. I don't have an FX team. This rest area we stopped at was weird and not great, but look inside. They had like 8 bottles of wine next to like 20 random movies. But the best part was these tapes, actual cassette tapes for sale of weird old artists. It's 12:45. We got about 2.5 hours left on the road. We hit a crap ton of traffic. Stopped at this rest area that smells funny and had roaches walking on the floor. So I bought packaged goods, including caffeine, and it's super exciting. It's not. We're tired. Hey, I'm home. It's 4 in the morning. 4 a.m. in the morning. It is Sunday or Monday, depending on how you want to look at it. I have my Dino Charge red hoodie, which was finally given to me Sunday in the... Well, I got it in the evening. I'm not sure when it arrived, but it was Sunday for sure. And I'm tired. We just drove... Alex drove us back, and then we drove back from his house and unloaded a few things from the car. I'm exhausted. I just want to go to sleep. 30 minutes. Why? I'm a professional. 30 minutes on the heart rate 4. Luckily, I don't think I'll have to do drawing. I'm going to do some scanning and preparation stuff. But I'm going to do that right now as I sit down. Blah. Okay, it's 4:30, 4:40 something in the morning. It's been 30 minutes. I've done my 30 minutes. I am a professional. Guys, ladies, everybody. Professional. Professional. Well, here's what we did. The main thing I did was scan in all the thumbnail cleanups that I had done while I was on the road. Then once I did that, I brought them into the original Photoshop file layouts that I had created. And if you'll notice the difference, here, for example, are these 3 panels with the blue, and they're a little sketchy. And they're still sketchy here, but the blue is gone. Haha, and I've darkened them up. So this whole page, I'll probably do another pass on, but it's like half done, and then I could go to inks. This one, I got to do these 3, another half pass, and then these ones I didn't get to yet. I scanned in the other stuff I did as well, and I made folders for all the pages that needed it. So again, just sort of upkeep, just sort of clerical work, nuts and bolts stuff, because my brain is fried. I couldn't draw something worthwhile to save my life right now, but I can scan, I can remove blue, I can file folder, which is why it's good to have random busy work that needs to be done on file, and which is why no matter how tired you are, no matter how sick you are, no matter how busy you are, no matter how uninspired you are, you can always find something to do just to fill that 30 minutes and get progress going and keep it moving. Even after a, I don't know, 6 to 8 hour car ride, after a convention, after my cat needs me. I gotta go. We'll talk more later. I'm so tired. My eyes hurt. Also, my voice is throaty. My voice is throat. Why am I... nope. Bed. Tomorrow. Bed.